handgun, people. Man, this happened quick. This is why cops usually don't mess around with people with knives. This officer made a few mistakes. I'll give him credit. He was trying to give the guy plenty of opportunity. This is a fully justified shoot. I have no problem with the officer shooting at any point in this video. So here comes all my haters telling me, you always take the cop's side. You're just a cop protector, bootlicker, jackhammer, whatever. The cops were right in this call. This guy's got a machete. They tried to take him in a car. They didn't shoot him then. He hijacked and kidnapped somebody, took a car, and then got out and ran toward an officer. He was clearly justified. I think this was a lawful shoot. I don't think the cops did anything wrong here. Maybe tactically, I'm going to crack on this guy a little bit, but let's take a look.
California, a suspected carjacker with a machete chasing an officer who was trying to stop him. The heart-stopping moment, the officer trips and falls, the man with the machete standing right over him. Other officers coming to his rescue, firing right over him.
Okay, this is what you call a bad day. Notice the ponytail. Is their gun still in her holster? Somebody dropped their PR-24. There's police gear everywhere. Rick, police have all kind of gear. Yeah, I know. They just start shedding their Batman belt when they're running around the city when the bat light goes on, and they just drop all their gear everywhere. All right, here we go.
Other officers coming to his rescue, firing to stop the suspect in ABC's Will Carr. With the images tonight, and we warn you, they are disturbing.
Wow, disturbing.
Tonight, a deadly confrontation.
Okay, so I'm not sure how many shots he fired there, but it sounded like quite a few.
Tonight, and we warn you, they are disturbing.
One. Oh, you know what? I was going to slow it down. Oh, you guys can count. Go ahead. We'll just go back here for the first shot.
Tonight, a deadly confrontation.
Maybe 6. Guy didn't even slow down. So did he hit him? Did he shoot anybody through these windows or doors? Was he aware of his backstop? I'll give the guy a little bit of credit because at this point, he really didn't have a choice. He either takes a machete or he shoots. So luckily, there was nobody else injured. But again, luck isn't a plan and luck isn't a strategy.
In the heart of Hollywood.
So he fired a couple rounds right there when he's turned his back on the dude. Man, at some point, you just don't want to run from people. I was looking at this. I think I caught that right there to where it was just falling. Is it on the ground or is it falling? Oh, no, it's bouncing. Huh. Okay, here we go.
Unit requesting a backup at McCadden, just south of Sunset, on 211 suspect armed with a machete.
211, this is in California, Los Angeles. Good old Hollywood. Liberal land. Good gun control. Tolerance. Acceptance. Hollywood. The epitome of liberal-run cities. Here we go. 211. Armed robbery.
This dramatic cell phone video captures the moment police say a man armed with a machete carjacked someone in this Chick-fil-A drive-thru.
Okay, this Chick-fil-A got really expensive today. I'm always a little concerned in any drive-thru I go through for things like this. I always have a gun in my car, so I'm not too worried about it. Somebody comes to try to carjack me, I'm going to be able to protect myself in my car. But let me tell you, when you're in a drive-thru and you're trapped, you are a sitting duck. Anybody that wants your car can walk in, get in your passenger, wait for you to pay, reach in the door, pull you out. You really, really need to be aware when you're in a drive-thru because you are a perfect victim waiting for somebody to find you.
Through on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, he got a... So she could have moved away right there, and she didn't. She stopped and let him get back in. Bad move. Machete.
Officers surround the car, then suddenly...
Maybe this was his car and he got out. Maybe it wasn't she, it was he. I don't know. They don't say who did it. He should have left. Especially, man, being the coat of the ball, you'd figure he'd have ran him over. Rick, you can always... I'll be quiet, you big
The suspect hits the gas.
Of course he did. He's got a bunch of cops. So he's got a machete and he's carjacking with force or fear. 1, 2, 3, 4 cops here. They didn't shoot him. Deadly force was authorized. I'm not sure if I'd have shot or not. And I'm not going to say they should have shot necessarily. He hasn't cut anybody yet and he hasn't stabbed anybody. He's threatening people. Again, legally, they could have shot him and they didn't. Now, had he left here and ran over a bunch of kids and killed them, everybody would have said they should have shot. But not knowing what happens next, should they have shot him here? It's easy to say, but I'm probably with these guys. I'm not sure I would have shot him. I mean, you got to really deserve to be shot before I shoot you. I mean, I got to have no other options.
Takes off and slams into 2 nearby police cars.
Okay, not only the guy's not real smart, he got his driver's license from the Ray Charles School of Driving, and he can't even get out of the parking lot.
He got stuck.
Another bystander captured the moment the suspect ran across the busy street, then onto the sidewalk, all while wielding that long machete.
Okay, so here's where people don't understand. He's running, he still has not hurt anybody. He's only a threat. So, is he justified to be shot? What did he do? He had a machete. He threatened a guy. He took his car. He wrecked a car. He got out and ran. He has not cut anybody. He's threatened, and he's got the ability. So, is shooting him legally justified? Yes, by the law. Morally? Again, I'm not real sure I shoot this guy yet, because he's not really a threat. He is a threat, a possible threat to people, but he hasn't demonstrated that he's a real threat. He hasn't hurt somebody. Now, somebody's going to say, well, you don't have to wait for him to hurt. I know you don't have to, but a lot of times people like this are just scared and trying to get away, and they've got a knife in their hand. They just can't abandon it. So, again, legally shoot him? Yes. Would I? Maybe not. Would I? Peg leg? It's an old joke. Anyway.
An officer pursues the man.
Pursues? It looks like he's walking. That officer ain't going too fast.
To the sidewalk, all while wielding that long machete. An officer pursues the man with the machete, then turns back and starts to chase the officer.
Okay, as soon as he turns back, everybody's going to yell, 21 feet, he should have shot him. This guy's not really a threat right now. I mean, he's walking to him. This guy's got a clear background. Yes, you could say he could trip. You know, if I was doing officer use of force explaining and he shot him here, you know, the officer would say, well, this officer knows at 21 feet he can be threatened. If he backed up, he could have tripped, and he knows he's fall. He was at a disadvantage. The suspect was already armed. He's armed with a knife. He was legally justified to shoot, and he shot to save his life and the life of others. Yeah, I get it. You can say that, and it might sound good, and it might be right, but I'm kind of with this guy right now. I'm not shooting him right now because he ain't hurting me or anybody else, and he's still got a chance to give up. And I don't really want to shoot anybody unless I have to. So if I can talk this knucklehead into some sense and create distance and not have to shoot him, then I'm going to do that. And that's what this cop does.
Officer.
Don't do it! Don't!
So the cop says, don't do it, don't do it. He takes a couple quick steps. Cop didn't want to shoot him.
Do it!
He gave him several warnings. Totally justified, no problem. Now, why this guy can't stop this guy with 6 shots? Remember, most shootings happen within lunging distance. That's grabbing. If I can jump and grab you, if I can take 1 or 2 steps and grab you, that's where almost all shooting happens, including cops. And guess what? Cops' hit ratio is around 13%. They miss well over 75% of the time. So, is this because they need more training? Here come the more training people. They need more training. It's not about training. When you shoot in a crisis, this cop didn't want to shoot him. He really doesn't want to shoot him. By the time he decides to shoot, he's behind the power curve. He's backing up. He doesn't have a good stance. He's off balance. He's trying to run. So, am I protecting this cop? No, the cop should have hit him. He shouldn't have fired so many times, but maybe he did hit him. We don't know.
The officer fires.
So here, he abandons. Now, this guy, all he did was sidestep. He really didn't come straight on. He just kind of sidestepped. And the officer decided to run. I'm not sure I'd have ran here. You know this guy right here? He's got the knife down. I think I would have jumped on him and just went head on. When they're this close, if he's going to get that close and I fired my round, I can close this distance before he can swing that knife. Rick, you're not Superman. You're not Kung Fu. Everybody was Kung Fu. No, I'm not Kung Fu. But I'm telling you, when he's coming at me, if I take a step forward, I'm going to be on his face like the alien in the movie, and he's not going to be able to cut me. And we're going to be grappling on the ground, and it's going to be go time. And maybe if I got no other options, I'll put my gun in his neck and squeeze the trigger. But I'm not sure I would have turned my back and ran right here. That's kind of, I mean, maybe he wasn't thinking real quickly because he got scared and it happened quick. I get it, people. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Tactically wise, I would have had no problem had he gone in and attacked him. Rick, you never should attack a person with a knife because it's, oh, whatever. Look, if you're going to get stabbed in the back and you got to run away and a guy's chasing you, maybe you should have attacked. Running is not always a good plan. I know the government tells you that in a mass shooting, to run and hide like a freaking sheep, but that's not always the best plan to survive.
Fires, but the man pushes forward. The machete still in hand. The officer.
So I don't know if he shot when he shot, or see how the guy stumps her? I don't know if he got hit here or if he trips.
Runs into the street, trips and falls with the.
Now the officer definitely right now is a sitting duck. He's on the ground. He hasn't. I mean, if I'm going to fall like that, I think I would have fallen and tried to protect my head on my back and be firing as I'm going down. Take my chances of busting my head, but I'd have dumped my mag in him as he's getting closer. And then, you know, maybe go hands on or at least be able to defend myself. If this guy hits him in the back of the head with my machete, it could be game over.
The armed man standing over him, several other officers open fire.
I'm not even sure this guy is really wanting to kill him here. Now, I know he can't tell that and this shooting is justified, but he's not really aggressively going after this guy. This guy's just kind of being, I would say, mentally, and don't get me wrong, mentally ill people can kill you just as quick as sane people. And, you know, a teen can kill you as quick as an adult, and a woman can kill you just as easy as a man. I don't want to hear all that crap. But, so this guy, I'm really surprised. The cops shoot him, and they don't shoot the cop. This cop wasn't hit, but the cops fired and ended up killing this guy.
That suspect was struck by gunfire?
This guy was Johnny on the spot, shooting right here. Notice the observer. Notice the female officer who is kinder and gentler, and who has more compassion, and who brings diversity to the department. Notice her observation skills, wanting to get a good visual picture of what's really going on. She's a hero. She didn't have to shoot. Only this guy shot. Big, mean man. Testosterone. Ooh. You know what? Whatever, people. You guys have watched me long enough to know what I'm talking about.
It was transported to a local hospital where he has since been declared deceased.
Police were.
Now this cop pulling up here is freaking crazy. This cop's like, dude, why are you going to run me over? I'd have jumped out of the way of this car. I don't care if I'd look like a punk or not. I wouldn't have stayed in the road. This dude's driving like a maniac, coming up there, locking up his brakes. He's lucky he didn't have brake fade and run right over this knucklehead. I mean, this guy comes up here so fast. Are you kidding me?
Police recovered the machete,
Oh, he did jump out of the way.
saying the blade.
This guy
was
jumps
more
out and
than a-
draws his gun. You got two guys, the guy's down, you got guys standing here. Finally, the female officer, the hero, gonna get a Medal of Valor for using restraint, not having to shoot. She's standing here, and this guy jumps out and pulls his gun. Really, dude? Was that really necessary?
Police recovered the machete, saying the blade was more than a foot long.
Does that matter whether it's a foot long? I mean, give me a break. News media.
Just chaotic scene there that the officers walked away with.
After that carjacking, the crash, and then the confrontation with that machete, the only person who was seriously injured was the suspect.
Seriously injured. I guess that's a new term for dead.
He was killed. Tonight, this part of Sunset Boulevard is still shut down during the heart of rush hour.
Okay. So anyway, lot of things. Running away from a guy. Let me tell you, you don't want to be in this situation. But this cop is going to go home and sleep, saying, "Hey, I gave him every opportunity. He forced me to kill him. He's going to deal with this a lot better than had he shot him in the back or he shot him when he got in that car, etc." Anyway, hope you got something out of it. We'll end that there.